Closure. Yo, one people. Do you start Tuesday? Shut up boy here holding it down for this man Willis Raburu. Again, alinituma Friday, amenirudisha hapa Tuesday. Nikalia hii kiti. Okay, tunapambana. If it is Tuesday, you best believe tuko hapa kukupatia opinions zetu on matters social. Alafu pia utupatie opinions zako pale kwenye SMS na pale kwenye Pira, si ndio? Kumbuka hashtag ni daybreak. Now, today's topic nitawachokoza because the people I have today inawahusu sana. Anyway, let's introduce ourselves. Tuanzie hapa kwako Bobby. Wagwan.
Mambo.
Poa sana.
Ukoaje?
Fiti sana.
Hata mimi niko ital.
More life. Wiki imekuaje?
Hata nilikuwa tu. That's my
We shall pull up another one for you. We shall pull up.
Itabidi Shaza amepata
ingine. Adio. We will stick with Dio.
But niko fiti, nasikia poa, niko excited for the day.
Right.
Yeah, it's been a very, very busy time, but I don't know. Nina cruise through the time.
Bisa.
Yeah.
Ula anafanya nywele yako aendelee.
Asante.
Amazing.
Asante.
Anajielewa. Aya. Jasmine Bank.
Dio.
Wagwan.
Missouri.
Uko sawa?
Bogi.
Sema bia yako
fire.
bado.
Bia. Ulisikia wapi?
Ulisikia wapi?
Dio.
Amazing. How was your week?
It was good.
Uh-huh.
Actually, it was very good. It was hectic, but it was amazing.
How was the event?
Beautiful.
Ah.
Really beautiful.
Watu walikuwa inspired?
Yes.
All right. I hope it was the beginning of a series.
Yes.
You're not just doing it and then uonjeshe watu.
Kututalk.
You know what is to kuonjesha?
Cool.
Test.
Yeah.
Give them a test and then now you disappear.
Dio. But
all right.
also, Nikona Mohammed.
Yes.
He's watching us live on Citizen.
Ah.
All the way in Dubai.
All right.
So I just want to say I love you.
No.
Right.
Si hata this year mimi nipate msewa.
Mwenye unaweza mwambia love you.
You know.
Dubai.
It's tough out here.
Usijali. You tell your Nduthi guy. Here.
Kwanza shout out to Victor, my Nduthi guy. Like, easy advice zote mimi huleta hapa.
Is the Nduthi guy?
Victor.
Muofa. Hata mimi naomba nipate mmoja wa kuambia. Anyway guys, today we want to talk about closure. Closure in matters relationships. Mapataga sometimes mliachana mtu wako lakini vile mliachana unasikia gani kama kuna kitu angekuambia ingekusaidia kumove on. Huyu mtu nilimpatia miaka yangu 10 akanitoka tu hivi. Huyu mtu anafaa kunikalisha chini aniambie kwa nini alinitoka. Why? Lakini sasa hii closure sana inatafutagwa na madeni. Hautaisikia boy child ameita dem ati please come tuongee uniambie kwa nini ulinitoka. Anyway, wacha nijue kwa nini. Tunaanza na wewe Bob. According to you, what is closure?
According to me, closure is the ending of a discussion. Like the summarizing. Niyo kumalizia, ni kama close. So, closure in the sense that most people describe it is that something that someone will say or do that will give you the answers to all these questions that you have, say, in the ending of a situation, in the ending of a relationship. And something that happens more often than not is that, okay, in my opinion, I feel like closure doesn't really exist. It's not external. You're the only person who can give yourself the closure that you need. Because in most situations, it doesn't matter what anyone says or does. If you're not ready to move on from the situation or if you're not ready to remove yourself, it's never going to be enough. So it has to come from within. So yeah, that's what I think closure is.
All right.
Yeah.
Chaz, you see, you'd be in a situation where you're creating scenarios in your head. You're thinking, this is why this person left me. You're making a million reasons as to why this relationship did not work. So if this... Is it not easier than to just call this person or text them and tell them, please, let's talk for this last time for you to explain to me why you did to me?
You know, it sounds theoretically great And it sounds like if somebody stopped, requiting my love back, it sounds amazing to be able to say, I'd love to call them and sort of get a why to why this ended. But I think as human beings, we tend to live in 3 dimensions, and we either live in the past or we live in the future. What a lot of us don't live in is the now. And so when you go through a scenario like this where you're looking for closure, a lot of the times you are living in the past as to, I shared something, I gave something of myself, I tried again, I trusted again, and you sort of feel this person has broken everything inside of me, and so I have to go back to the past, which is the relationship that has ended, to be able to get closure for my future. But I think what a lot of people miss in that entire scenario is the fact that you are not present in the moment. And being present in the moment means that you've got to be able to take time to adjust and think about, where do I fit in with what's going on? How do I truly feel? If I do not ever get a chance to speak to this person, how do I deal with closure right now? And the hardest thing for a lot of people to do, honestly, is to first take responsibility for also being in that scenario. And it's very easy to be able to blame. It's very easy to be angry, because in closure, that's what you're going to feel. You're going to feel deep emotion of anger and so much sadness, and you're going to put yourself down. And I say that's when you bury your superhero and you bring out your inner villain, because that voice in your head can be detrimental. It's either going to leave you feeling depressed, or it can be a voice that you just silence for a while and you say, I cannot understand. I am in pain and I cannot understand what's going on in the moment, but I'm not going to look to the person that supposedly has caused the pain to heal it, because I've also allowed the pain to be able to be there. Because there must have been many scenarios I might have seen I could have removed myself from. And fair enough, for the people who really are truly blindsided by a relationship ending, and you feel, I did not see this coming. It comes down to you. It comes down to, I just want to feel, for the last time, one up. I want to feel better. I want to let you know when we get off the phone that I loved you, that I did everything for you, that I was perfect, that you are the loser, so that I can walk away and feel better. And that's the truth.
Yeah.
Wow. Lakini, there's the why. There's the why that you need answered.
Yeah.
Okay? There's the why did you do this to me? You don't feel like, say, for example, even getting that closure would make you a better person in the next relationship if you ever get yourself in another one. Maybe they tell you why they left.
Yeah.
And it will better you in the next relationship you're going to.
But you see, just like what Shazmin said, you cannot heal in the same place that you got hurt. And something that we need to understand is that hiyo ni seek validation. Like, you're seeking answers outside of yourself. And that only happens when you're not someone who knows yourself. Sale hujafika hiyo point yene, you've taken time to just be with yourself and understand that both of us could be at fault, and I don't have to be the victim, and I have to be able to take accountability for the role I played in the pain that I'm feeling in this moment. If I'm in pain, it's because maybe I allowed some things to happen, I allowed some things to slip. And even if the relationship blindsided me and this happened, nini, you should be complete enough within yourself to understand that, I promise you, Shatta, there's no answer. There's no answer anyone will ever come and give you that will ever be enough. You'll still have more questions. Hata saizi kama mimi ni kama nikwambia Shatta, nachana na wewe, tuseme for together, na kama nakwambia nachana na wewe kwa sababu ya one, you'll still wonder, okay, hata kama unasema, tuseme reason ni au ni postingi IG. Uni explain reasons zako na maybe lakini sorry, mimi niko explain reasons zangu mbona naachana na wewe, and you understand, you still be like, but see, bado tungeongea about it. But see, like, there'll still be more questions and more questions, and the only way to to see this is to experience it in real time. Like, I can't really tell you, but when you're exactly in that situation, in that position, is when you'll understand that there is no answer from anywhere or anyone else. There's no external answer that will ever suffice all the questions that you have within yourself. So you have to be okay with being ready to be able to move on and understand that change is inevitable and things happen. Sengine things that break our hearts, and sadness, grief, pain, anger, jealousy, all these things are a normal part of life, just like happiness and good things and good feelings. All these other feelings are still normal. You just have to be with yourself enough to know how to navigate the situations. Like when you're feeling heartbroken, how do you deal with it? When you're feeling jealous, how do you take accountability and say, this is how I feel? When you're feeling sad, how do you address it? How do you deal with it? When someone leaves you out of the blue, okay, what next? Am I going to dwell in this pain? Am I going to call them and expect them to give me answers? And something I normally say also is, the heart wants what it wants. So if you really feel it within yourself that you need to communicate your emotions, that I need to call Shatta and tell him, I'm in pain because he broke up with me out of the blues. I still love him. I care about you. I feel nini, nini, nini. If I still feel the need to communicate, that's okay. If you're in a situation where you feel like you need to let a few things off your chest, it's okay to communicate, but also remember, this other person doesn't even owe you a response. Unaweza tuma all the paragraphs you want, but you see, you're never gonna get the closure you want. So that's why I keep saying, closure has to come from within yourself. You have to love yourself enough to be able to bring yourself to a point where you're able to tell yourself it's time to grow and it's time to do better and be better. And lazima tu ni make decision. Because I'm just going to say it again. It doesn't matter how many times they come and give you a detailed explanation of what you did or what could have been fixed. The point is, amekuacha. So now what next? What are you going to do next? How's the relationship going to move on, or with yourself or in the situation that you're in? So closure for me, it's very, very personal, and it's something that you need to seek within. Hizo maswali zenye unataka kumuuliza, jiulize wewe na utry kuzijibu.
Alright, wewe ni Roberta. Pia nyinyi mko mtaani kuna swali kwenu. And the question we have for you kwa leo, na mimi sioni mmeiweka mbali sana. Okay, what does closure after being in a relationship mean to you? What does closure after being in a relationship mean to you? Jiachilie pale kwenye SMS 22422 #daybreak. Tupeleke na step. Wewe closure inamaanisha nini kwako? Ni kitu iko ama ni kitu haiko? Na wewe ukiitaka utaitaka kwa nini? Na ukiitishwa utaipeana. Jiachilie hapo. Alafu nikuje niulize Chaz. This is someone that say I asked, look, why did you leave me? And they tell me you don't pay attention. You give so much to your work that you forget I exist. You see, like they list down things that made them walk away. And when I absorb those things and realize actually maybe I don't live my life, I just spend my time with work and not, I don't socialize. So I need to change this and that. Won't we say that made me a better person? The closure that I got from this person?
Yes, it would make you a better person, but then at the end of the day, closure from someone else is still what we all seek. It's that external validation. I just believe at some point, you know, the aspect of mind, body, soul. I feel soul is spiritually searching as well. It's also taking the time out to go within. So you can have the typical psychological effects that I can give you right now. Yes, more women in research, it shows, look for more closure than actually men. Men, when they end a relationship, are just hoping that you leave it exactly, that's why you're smiling. So I can go the whole psychological route, which, yes, you know, it would help you, because that's what you've put your bases on. You've put your bases on, if this person tells me X, Y, Z, it will help me to move on. I feel sometimes sitting through pain can be very powerful. I don't mean getting absorbed by pain, and there's a huge difference. Because a lot of people will switch off will take 2-3 weeks out, will really dwell in the pain, will suffer. And I don't think as human beings we're born to suffer. I think we're born to deal with pain. And so I feel when it comes to getting closure, you can get the external validation that says, okay, there's a difference with where did I go wrong? How can I improve? And that's what I'm looking for. But at the end of the day, is it true that you don't know? And that's why I feel self-responsibility is massive. Because you can have gone through probably the most hurtful experience. But sometimes it takes you being the bigger person to be able to say, I'm still going to send this person love. I've not got the closure. I've not got the conversation. But something like we do when we sit with people when we're coaching is we actually put them first in the shoes of the other person. And it's very hard for people because nobody wants to see the other person's point of view.
Yeah.
You want to stick to your point of view. You want to hold on to your pain because you know how to do it so well. But when you go into the other person's shoes, sometimes, you know, in therapy, we'll have you actually go into their body and answer from their point of view. Okay, I don't need you physically to be here, but as me, so I'm going to be Shatta right now, and I'm going to answer and say, this is why I broke up with you. And you will be shocked at the reasons in that moment that come out for people. So just trading shoes with somebody else, even if the other person turns around and says, you know, I love you, you're the most beautiful human being, but I don't feel I'm capable of your love right now. But it's powerful when you can do a process yourself. And something I teach people also is it's such a beautiful thing as a campfire experience, which is in your mind, have the other person come to you in a campfire and talk to them. You don't physically need the person there. But when you are not in your head and you're very authentic about getting closure from the other person without them physically being there, you actually give them spiritually the space to talk back to you and respond back to you. And that's what coaching is. You do not need anybody to help you heal. You do not need any external circumstance to help you build who you are. Because all I feel external circumstances do is bring you more inward. But as human beings, we are too scared of going inward. Inward means silence. And to the human mind, silence means lonely. So therefore, I've trained my mind to run from that kind of emotion and thought. We always want to be safe. And that's what happens when I'm in a relationship. I'm feeling safe and I'm feeling secure. The minute you trigger my safety and my security, you put me in a position of uncertainty. And as human beings, we don't like to be uncertain. Like if I ask you both a question right now and I say, do you like surprises? You'll say yes. But that's a lie. You like the surprises you know. And that's why we watch the movies we know over and over, because it's comforting. We know what's coming next, and we're conditioned that way as human beings. But I challenge people to say, what if it's not your mind solving it? What if you spiritually, inwardly looked at what you're going through and you look for closure within you? How would life work for you if you worked from giving inside out, not taking outside in and feeling that you're not enough to complete a situation?
Well,
Sasa, kuna kitu Roberta alisema, there's something that Roberta said that I wanted to bounce it at you. She said you are not owed any explanation by the other person. Okay? So we are trading shoes here. Let's trade the shoes.
Yes.
It's been, say, 10 years in this relationship, or maybe 5 years. And you find this essay, this person lamenting and asking you why you left them. Don't you have a responsibility of responding to such a text?
Do we have responsibility if we even walk out on someone? If we leave someone in pain, if you walk out and you can leave a loved one with no closure, you are not being responsible. So how do you come back to the same person to heal you when they're the same person who didn't think about you in the first place?
Okay. Turudi hapa kwako. Hii sana hii closure inatafutwa na madem. Why is it that actually hata ukiangalia statistically it is ladies that will ask for closure? Ni hao watakutext, ni hao watakwambia let's meet over coffee and talk. But wanaume ikienda imeenda. Like you left, adios muchachos.
He's already
tutapatana.
seeing someone else.
Okay. Also, that seeing someone else is a sort of closure in its own.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is it that sana madem do uitisha hiyo closure?
First of all, your skin looks really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Allah. Fire, yo. I think this single thing is doing me good. Yeah.
I've been seeing this trend of people on social media or people, wasetu wengi, they have this thing where they're very proud about being emotionally unavailable. And it's something they're very loud about. You know, me, I'm emotionally unavailable. Me, I'm emotionally unavailable. And things like that. And you know, when you say something so many times, you start to believe it, and then it becomes your reality. Mm-hmm. And I see a lot of men, like, it's true that they're not socialized to be as emotional as women are, or to be as comfortable in their emotions as most of us are. So most men think it's cool to be macho and, you know, strong, and they think that's what being manly is about, being very disconnected from your femininity and anything that inafanyuka uko na umama. So which is crazy to me, because that's your beautiful side, that's your side for creativity and nurturing and growth and just good feelings and everything. So most men are not very, very sure of how to feel feelings and how to deal with feelings and how to go through feelings. And Sisi, it's very easy for us to sit in our feelings, even if we don't know we are doing it. It comes almost natural because ni kitu tumezoea. It's something we just do. We cry, we can talk about our feelings, we can read more about it. It's very in our nature to just be curious and to want to know more about emotions. Even when we're talking to each other, most of our conversations revolve around how we're really, really feeling. And that's a contrast when you bring men in the picture. So I think men just do not know, I don't want to keep saying men, but I want to say people who say they're emotionally unavailable, because this goes across board for women as well. People who feel like they're emotionally unavailable, they try very hard to detach that side, and it becomes their reality because they feel like that's how to protect themselves when they don't feel emotions and they do not care and they do not attach themselves. So then they think that this gives them closure or it makes moving on easier. But you see, the thing with feelings is you cannot destroy energy, you can only transform energy. So if you do not feel them now, I promise you they will manifest at another time, in another way, in another relationship. They will erupt in time. So what women do after breakups is they stay sad, they cry, they talk about it every day. It can be for 3 months, for 6 months, for 2 years, and then eventually one day they just wake up and they're feeling better and then they move on. But the opposite, men do the opposite, where when they break up with someone, they move on. Like, they start going out, they meet other people, they're talking to other people. But you see what happens, like I was saying, easy emotions, they start manifesting in other situations, in other relationships, in other ways. And it's not that when you can move on faster, you have a one-up or you're better than other people. It's just that, to me, it just translates as you're not aware of how to sit in your emotions and how to deal with them, because everyone feels emotions. Human beings feel emotions, whether you're a woman or a man. So easy emotions itakatch up na wewe. And that's what men do. They feel like, I don't need closure, I can move on, nezaenda, but I promise you it's going to manifest in another way. You're not going to be able to pinpoint why you're feeling how you're feeling in that moment, or why the things that you're going through are happening the way they are. But I promise you, and I taught my brother how to do it, sitting in your emotions and feeling things. Mpaka siku hizi ananiambianga, wow, it just took me 2 days. Because he's felt the pain, he's gone through it, he's talked about it, he knows how to manage it now. So the next time it happens, it doesn't take time, dwell in that feeling, yeah, suffering, na pain. It's when you're able to maneuver and you're able to give your body, your mind, your soul the things that you need when you're going through heartbreak, rather than ignoring it and storing it for another time, you'll find out it's actually easier to move on when you leave someone. And how to need your closure from someone else, you'll always understand that the closure that you're seeking, all these questions you have, you can answer them from within yourself.
Ukitaka kuniongelesha hapo kwa emotionally being unavailable, uniongelesha. Come direct. Just come direct and speak. Anyway, kuna kitu umesema, Shaz, before we take feedback, this part of being emotionally unavailable, isn't it also a defense mechanism?
100%. It's not only just for men. Women are dating emotionally unavailable because you're too scared. I feel, you know, look, when you sometimes get fired from a job, majority of the time you will get told why you were let go of. So you can understand and you get closure from something like that. But you still have the strength to go out there and look for another job. We don't sit there and say, you know, oh my God, I got fired. I'm never ever doing this again. I'm never working for the rest of my life. I'm going to stay home and cry and eat popcorn. You got bills to pay. You've got life to live. You get out there and you go look for something. Probably even improve yourself, develop some new skills, and then go out and get a better job. And I say, what if you implemented the same thing in a relationship scenario? Because it's going to be the scariest thing you can ever get into. You don't always guarantee your love will be reacquainted at the time that you need it. And I'll really say that again, because for people who are also in a relationship, there are times your love is not going to be met the same way. Sometimes someone is emotionally unavailable because they're going through so many different scenarios. And I feel we've become a society so much about me. It's so much about what I'm not getting. It's so much about what I just want that there's zero tolerance for the other person. That why are they emotionally unavailable? I can't see it because right now all I can see is me, and I need you to be there for me. Which means I'm no longer stepping out of my ego and being able to see, what do you need? How can I help you? How could I be a beautiful influence in your life so you can emotionally be available? When I got married to Mo, you can turn around and say he was the typical man that, you know, was very, you know, I'm work and work is a priority, because if I work hard enough, it translates into love. He had to learn over time, love is a language in so many different forms that I have to learn to teach you. But it had to require me getting out of the way at some point to give him space to figure that out and grow in that. And we don't have room for that in relationships anymore. You are emotionally available during the marketing segment to get me. So then what happened?
Yeah.
Where did your emotions go?
Oh my God, you need to ask that again.
Where did your emotions go?
Okay, to put it in perspective.
Yes.
To put it in perspective, wala mjasikia kizungu, Shaza anauliza hivi, wakati ulikuwa una campaign, ulikuwa very available. Lakini ulipata kiti ukadisappear.
Yes.
Yeah, that is what.
And sometimes the disappear is because it's safe to do so. Yeah. It's safe now that I'm in this relationship for me to go deep within and deal with the fact you are bringing out fear inside of me. You are bringing out different things that are creating different scenarios for me. Yes. Yeah. And this relationship is allowing me room to disappear. What if you gave someone that space to be emotionally unavailable, but you both understand I'm not being emotionally unavailable because I'm cheating and I'm talking to other people on the phone. I'm emotionally unavailable because, you know what, I'm human and I'm dealing with life and I need you on my side for a while.
Okay.
What if?
Good question.
I just learned something.
Wow. Umesikia kama ulikuwa kwa darasa.
Ilikuwa therapy class ya this week.
Let's take some feedback from tusikie pia jibu nasema aje, si ndio? Aya, @fellow_muya anasema cry, forgive, learn, move on. Let your tears water the seeds of your future happiness. Full stop. Hiyo mambo ya kutafuta mtu chana na. @johnnyvado_. Closure is essential, but we have not normalized it. Imagine watu utenda closure wanarudiana. All they do is remind each other of the sweet memories. Mnajipata you slithered back together or it turns out nasty. Hiyo ni ukweli.
Acha vitu zako kwangu.
Leo na tumasika B. There is no other person you can depend on so much when it comes to closure than yourself. It's self-responsibility to reconstruct yourself after a relationship.
Beautiful.
Ngine moja ya mwisho at Rosetta Rose. Majina mzuri. Closure to me means how you accept yourself and ready to move on, however much painful it usually is. Okelo Mwalimu. The best way of finding closure is to take a break in order to have self-reflection. Jumping into another relationship immediately after a failed one is counterproductive, as it may ruin your entire life, especially if it ends up being worse than the original one. Okay, zone za Twitter, pia za SMS zinakuja, lakini Shaz.
Yes.
Why do you think tukuja kwa Bobby? Tumetoka kwa Shaz, ndio.
Lakini watu leo wamekuwa very, I like the responses today. Guys are very they're really growing. You can tell guys are growing and they're ready to just...
I feel you're recruiting my people now, not wanting closure, and I think closure is a good thing. And I feel now today you've recruited them. They're accepting what you're saying. Kabisa, okay, now let's bring it home. There is probably someone right now that is from a breakup. They've written an essay. They're about to press send. You see? Ask, why did you do this to me? Ama there's someone that is going through a breakup right now.
Yeah.
Ama they are also not available emotionally. There's like from the past scars, they're like, I am never getting myself into this. So speak to that person.
I'd say that there's this verse in the Bible. It describes love. It says love is kind, love is patient, love is... Sijui zote, but I know you guys know what I mean. And that's how, when I think about that, it just hit me that all these bad feelings that we try to associate love with, that's not love. And these bad feelings, they're very, very normal. They're a very normal human experience. And they come along with love. But you have to understand that love is never going to hurt you. Love is never going to make you. Love is it's a feeling that makes you feel good and giddy and bubbly, and it makes you happy, and it gives you all these nice feelings within yourself. So please allow yourself to feel love. Allow yourself to be loved over and over and over and over again, because just because you had one bad experience or 100 bad experiences doesn't mean that you're never going to get to a point where you'll feel the love that you want to feel. And something else is you need to give yourself this love so that you're able to recognize it when it's coming, because how you treat yourself is exactly the precedent you set for other people to treat you. So love yourself so badly that you're able to tell real love when you see it, and you're able to tell this is love, and you're able to allow yourself to feel the love. So if you feel like you're emotionally unavailable and it's the best way for you to navigate life and to just maneuver, I'd say that to each his own, but I would love for you to be able to just open yourself up to love and to try it over and over again, because that's how people succeed. They don't give up. They don't meet a bump and then they say, okay, yo barabara sipiti tena. It's just a bump. And the only people who are going to hurt you are the people who actually love you, because it takes so much power for someone that you don't know to hurt you. So you need to be okay with the fact that the people that love you might hurt your feelings, but love is energy. It doesn't end. It doesn't stop. It just transforms. Like it just grows, or it just, like love is just a good feeling. So if you feel like it's the best way for you to navigate, I'd say try to open up yourself for love. It's a beautiful feeling. It's no pressure. It's no love, love, love. And love doesn't have to be romantic. There's platonic love. Love your friends. Allow yourself to be able to be in situations where you're receiving love, so that you're able to tell, this is the kind of love I want and this is the kind of love I feel. And you asked for the emotionally unavailable and for someone that's going through a heartbreak, for the closure that you feel like you need to get. I'd say for those paragraphs that you're writing, write them. But something I do is I don't write them on my phone. I write them in my book, in a journal. Iyo text yote ninataka kusema, I will write it. Write it down in your journal. Write it like a letter. Write it. Write everything that you feel. and keep it. I can't remember who told me this, but a friend of mine shared this a few years ago. Keep the letter. Give yourself 5 days. In 5 days, read the letter and see if all these things you're feeling, you still need to say them. Give yourself another 5 days again and just keep checking with yourself in 5 days and just feel, you know, utaona ukicross vitu zingine, some things won't like make sense anymore. They won't make it because you'll have answered yourself, or you'll have found these answers that you needed, because how they treat you in the sense when you're in this period whereby you guys are not talking and you're not okay with each other, the love you feel, or whether they've cut you off immediately, anything, however they left you, it'll answer the questions that you need. It'll tell you, do they still care about me? Do I think they miss me? No, if they missed me, they'd have texted me. And still, in that situation, not sasa the paragraphs, if you feel like you have, like I said, if you feel like you have things to say, like you feel like you need to tell them you miss them, or you love them, or you care about them, that's okay. I feel like those are things you should be able to say. And I said they don't have the responsibility to respond, because in this moment, you're not doing it for them. You're letting your feelings out for yourself. You're letting yourself sit in your feelings, accept your feelings, take accountability and responsibility for everything that you're feeling. And you're mature enough to know that it's okay to show love and to send love, even if we're not okay. And whether you press send or not, that's up to you. But feeling is very normal and it's very okay. Usijinyime hiyo kwa sababu unaogopa mtu mwingine hata reciprocate. It has nothing to do with them. This is about you, and this is about making sure that you heal and you feel better. So whatever you need to do, give the heart what it wants, but make sure you're also very, very comfortable and you're loving yourself in the way that you need to.
Kabisa.
Yeah.
Shaz, some people will call you for this closure in the hope of getting back, like somebody said there. Like, you will meet, and then they'll start reminding you of the sweet memories you had, and before you know it, you're back into this thing, and now you're hurting again because you did not solve the issues you had. So, if there's someone now that is in that pattern, where you break up, you come back. You break up, you come back, because you meet and discuss that closure in a different way, how would you advise them?
I call it the make up, break up until I'm just done making up with you. And it's because you keep fantasizing. When you go through a breakup, the brain is in such shock. It's going through so much pain. It physically is dealing with pain. And I say physically because when you stub your toe, it really hurts, right? But the same thing, the same part of the brain that deals with rejection and deals with pain is the same part of the brain that physically feels that stub. So when you're dealing with a breakup, understand you are physically hurting. So I really understand that. But in that physical pain, the body is almost like, I cannot take any more pain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to romanticize and fantasize who we once were, so that I can give myself a bit of time to be able to deal with this pain while I'm still feeling these amazing feelings about you. Very rare sometimes do the right people say this breakup needs space. Like absolute space. It needs maturity for me to say, I still love you in this breakup, but I'm going to take about 2 to 3 weeks out where I'm not talking to you to digest how I'm feeling. I had such an interesting conversation with Igunza yesterday, and we were talking off air about how sometimes when you come out of a breakup or a toxic relationship, you don't realize it sometimes up until 6 to 7 months post it, because you've been so in it that when the brain starts to realize and recognize I'm not going through the same patterns anymore, I'm actually breathing, I'm getting air, I'm doing something new, you start to have room to be able to deal with what had happened. And it's the same thing with the breakup. When you're going through this kind of a pain, it's so much that you rather clench back to familiar than just be on your own. Really understand the word patience when it comes to breakups. Give it time. And for some people that will go ahead and do what they do, I say brilliant. Make the mistake. Go back. Make up, break up, make up, break up. But at some point, your human brain is going to turn around and say, I can't do this pain anymore. Because remember, we are conditioned in 2 ways: to deal with pain or to deal with pleasure. And when we're dealing with pain, we familiarize ourselves to that pain. We know it so well. So coming back to you, I know exactly how you hurt me. I know exactly how you get off the phone. It's familiar.
Yeah.
But it's better than this new pain that I don't know how to deal with. That's why I come back to you. And that's why we break up again. Because then at some point, my brain gets saturated and goes, I can't do this anymore. But when you reach that point of I cannot do this anymore, this is where decisions matter. And making the right decision matters. Do I go back? And if I did, what am I going back to? And if I just wait this moment out and I live it day by day, don't give me a week, don't give me a month. Let me get through today and see how I feel, and then get through tomorrow and see how I feel. And let me find someone that I'm not talking consistently about the breakup to. Because I'm telling you in a beautiful way, your friends get tired. Yeah. They love you, but they're tired. And they need a break from your breakup. Yeah. But at the same time, find somebody that you can do different things with as well. Yeah. And just see, am I starting to feel better? Instead of running back to what's going to bring me down even more. I had such a beautiful friend last year that was playing this dance. They were in a breakup, and at some point they stopped involving me because they knew what I was going to say. And I was kind of like, maybe I need to be a different kind of a friend, you know, where you can still talk to me and be in that space. But when they realized they were done with that breakup and they completely let it go, they manifested not only the most beautiful job, but everything they had written in a list on what they wanted to achieve within the year, they did in 3 months. And I'll tell you why. Because that energy you're taking to go into the past is now energy you pull into your present and you use to manifest your future. But people don't understand how energy works.
Yeah.
Kabisa. There's something you've said, there's something you've said about having someone that you can talk to, not just about that breakup, you see, but there are relationships that you find the person you're dating is your only friend. I think that is a bad thing. You need to have other friends. There are people that isolate you from people. They make you the only friend.
Yes.
Like so if you break up with this person, the only person you can talk to is that person that you've broken up with, which is a bad thing. You need to have friends around you, people that will talk to you when this person is not there. Okay?
Yeah.
Imekuwa amazing. Sasa what I will do, kila mtu aseme jina yake tafadhali na social media handles.
So, Roberta Bobby, I'm a writer on love and orgasms. Woo! Follow me on Roberta Bobby everywhere, kila mahali hata LinkedIn. And follow me on social media as Love and Orgasms. And my blog is www.loveandorgasms.com, my podcast as well. Everything is linked on my social media pages.
Kabisa.
And she has the cutest Bitmoji. You can find me on my YouTube channel. We're 2 months old. We drop a new episode every Monday for the mind, every Wednesday is meditation for the soul, every Friday is literally answering and going into depth with the questions you want. So that's Shazmin Bank. Or you can get me on Instagram, which is Shazmin Bank as well. And I love listening to you, you know, with whatever you're going through in your DMs. You've got a safe space. Just give me a little time to get back to you. Come to my website, which is www.shazminbank.com. Beautiful podcasts you can listen to. And you know what? We're 3 friends here that would love to be there for you no matter what you're going through in life.
Kabisa. Haya, kuna mwingine aitwa CJ Atemu. Mfuate CJ Atemu, alitutoka leo. Mfuate ndio akuje. Ndio. Also kumbuka kufollow Willis Raburu across all social media platforms, ndio. Bazu get well soon.
Yes.
Patane hapa next Tuesday, ndio. Facebook Shutterboy, Instagram Shatter_boy, Twitter Shatter Tikitaka. YouTube niko kweli? Critical Shutterboy. Nimekawia sija post kitu hapo. But yes, Critical Shutterboy YouTube. Tupatane tena next time. We hope hizi vitu tumekuambia hapa utaziemploy kwa maisha yako. Kama kuna zile umesikia zinakusaidia, chukua na uanze kuziimplement. Sawa sawa? Till next time, move life.